So this is some footage from my last PTR test with Disintegration Wave. We're going to take a quick look at this and compare the proc rates of Manaltiel and paralysis with those of the combination test. So this is coming up this is single stack Swami, so this isn't even the attack speed breakpoint at which we should be comparing, and you can see it's proccing like a maniac already. So something to keep in mind too is once I go into Archon on this next cycle, watch how fast it procs Manaltiel for the first time. Bam, like right off the bat, and it's just like blazing through the procs. So this will give you some idea, give some basis to what we're gonna look for when we're comparing both using the Hydra and the Disintegration Wave. I'll let this go through one more cycle and then we'll take a look at one of the combination tests. Here's the Hydra clip. Pay particular attention. Look out for the disintegration beam procs, because they're pretty hard to see. There. But notice, that's the only proc set from Disintegration Wave. All the other procs are Hydra. Here's another combination test. No Disintegration Wave procs in that last set. We're going to reset Archon here, try it again. Hydra proc, Hydra proc, Hydra, Hydra, Hydra. How about that? What you just saw in that combination test was actually very typical of what I'm seeing across all the combination tests I did. I performed 9 total for the combination of Hydra and Disintegration Wave casting at the same time, and out of all of those I only got proc sets for the Disintegration Wave on, I believe, 3 of them. Yeah, the first 3 I did. And the interesting thing about those is some of them weren't even full sets. They were like half sets, and it's almost like they were interrupted or something to that effect. They stopped midway, that's for sure, because based on my last testing, I was seeing pretty much 10 procs in 2.5.0 PTR for the Archon B for a single paralysis set. But here I'm seeing, this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 8, this is 5, and that's somewhere in the middle, so it's definitely less than 10, which is concerning. Now, another point. So another point is that just visually, based on how much Disintegration Wave should have been proccing from the last tests I did, comparing that to what we just saw, it wasn't proccing near as much as it should have. So that's another concern. Based on these two things, I'm thinking whenever Hydra is proccing paralysis, somehow it is locking in that target for Hydra only procs, or it has some sort of internal ICD that's per target, something to that effect that's preventing number one, the beam from proccing, and number two, when we look at our beam procs here, the few that we got, Hydra never procced in the middle of the beam duration. So I'm thinking what happened is Hydra may have procced, near the end of the set here and interrupted it or something to that effect. That may be why I don't see a Hydra proc in the middle. But what that means is that if your beam is getting interrupted all the time by your Hydra, why the hell should we even bother slotting the lightning beam, especially when our main purpose, especially if our main purpose is single target. So these are the type of things we should start thinking about. So the other thing to note here is I did do other tests. What I did is I swapped out the element on my bracer from lightning to arcane. That way my disintegration wave would no longer proc nulled heal, and did some tests with just the Hydra. So on the right side here, these are all Hydra procs, and the length of the video will vary, so you can't judge just by the number of procs here, comparing it to how many procs are over here. You can't judge it like that, but what you can do is look at the differences between the Hydra procs and compare those from this set to that set. And it's very random because of how Hydra procs, it procs Manald. It's 15% per head, and it attacks, each head can proc Manald heal, and it's just very random at which point, it's going to proc Manald heal. When it does proc paralysis, it procs Manald heal only once, and that's it for that head for that one time, just so you understand that. Now, looking down the sheet here, you see 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds, 1 second, 0.1 seconds. But we also see that here. 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds. 0.267 seconds, 0.066 seconds for the Hydra. So it's very random, but we see, from what I can tell, about the same gaps in between these two. So what does this mean? So what this likely means is that any build that has both Lightning Hydra and some other spender or lightning skill that can proc Manald heal combined will have a hard time proccing both of those abilities on a single target, which means the efficiency of that build will be severely reduced, especially when it comes to Rift Guardians. Now, what does this mean at the top end, the meta end? Probably any group build that's going to utilize the Lightning Hydra setup for a single target DPS role is going to find, might even find it more valuable to just drop the Lightning Disintegration Wave entirely, and then you just keep your Lightning Hydra, and then you could swap out skills or something. What this also means for that type of setup is that the ranged component with Zays and Power Hungry might not be the most efficient, because as some of us know from having tested Stricken with Archon before, the Archon punch, the left click attack from Archon, stacks Stricken faster than the Disintegration Wave does. So when you combine those two things with the fact that you're only running Lightning Hydra, you don't have to be at range anymore. You can run Trapped instead of Zays, and then you can also put Audacity in instead of Power Hungry. And then you just run up right next to the boss and you fist punch him to the face and stack Stricken faster, kill him even faster than you already were before when you had the Lightning Disintegration Wave. So this is just food for thought, and it's based on the limited testing I've done here, which I tried to do as much as possible. It's kind of difficult to get in that many sets and log the data, but based on what we're seeing here, there's definitely something going on between the Beam and Hydra that's a conflict. And I just wanted to share it with you guys and gals. So after here, I'm going to roll the test footage. You can watch it if you want. You can not watch it if you want. It's very dull and boring, I will assure you. But nevertheless, it'll be there as proof, and I'll also post a link to this spreadsheet. I'll upload it and I'll put it in the description of the video. So thank you for watching, and I hope this has been informative.